They say life doesn't always go as planned. I say good. Plans are overrated. There comes a time when you are forced to sit still not because you want to, but because life ties your hands, breaks your plans, and silences the noise you once thought was living. In that silence, you find your true voice. People often ask, why me? When life turns its back. But I want to ask you today, why not you? Why not you who rises after the fall? Why not you finds light even in the thickest darkness? Why not you who learns to smile with a heart full of scars? You see, life doesn't give us what we want. It gives us what we need to grow. And growth, oh, it is never painless. Sometimes it looks like broken dreams. Sometimes it looks like a room you can't walk out of, a body that won't obey, or a heart that won't stop aching. But in that brokenness, there is something sacred, a chance to rebuild. Do not let the world tell you that you are too broken to be whole. Do not wait for a perfect moment. There is no such thing. This here, now, your breath, your pain, your story, this is your power. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to choose to show up even when fear whispers loud. You don't need wings to fly, courage is enough. Remember, your scars are not your weakness. They are proof that you fought and that you're still here. Let them shine. Let them speak. Because someone somewhere needs your story. They need to see that pain can become purpose. So the next time life asks, who will make it through this storm? Stand up in your own way and say, why not me? Life doesn't always go the way we want, and that's okay. Sometimes the best version of ourselves is revealed through the unexpected. We live in a world that constantly pressures us to have everything figured out, to plan every step, to measure every milestone, to achieve success on a timeline that isn't even ours. From a young age, we are told to map out our future: school, career, marriage, children, retirement. A checklist life. But what happens when that checklist catches fire? What happens when your plans fall apart? You see, that's the part no one prepares us for, the part where life suddenly shifts and nothing makes sense anymore. One phone call, one accident, one diagnosis, one betrayal, one unexpected twist, and suddenly the world you built in your head crumbles beneath your feet. It's frightening. It's confusing. It's lonely. And in that moment, we question everything. But here's the truth. It is in the breaking of our plans that our real story begins. Because sometimes life has to break us in order to rebuild us. Sometimes it is the detour that leads us to the place we truly belong. We live with this illusion that we are in control, that if we do everything right, things will go right. But life doesn't follow formulas. It flows like water, unpredictable, wild, and free. And when we try to box it in, it slips through our fingers. The people who seem to have everything figured out are often the ones most afraid of the unknown. But growth, real, deep, soul-level growth, doesn't happen in the known. It happens in the unexpected. That I didn't choose the things that broke me. I didn't plan the pain, the isolation, or the silence. But in those still, heavy moments where I had no choice but to sit with my broken pieces, I discovered something I would never have found in a perfect life myself. I discovered something I would never have found in a perfect life myself. I discovered that I am not my circumstances, that I am more than what happened to me, that I don't need to move mountains to matter. I discovered that strength doesn't always look like winning. Sometimes it looks like breathing through the pain and smiling anyway. Sometimes it looks like standing when you feel like crawling. And sometimes it looks like surrendering, not because you've given up, but because you finally let go of what was never meant to stay. The truth is, when life doesn't go as planned, it's not the end. It's a redirection. It's life saying there is more, you are more. And yes, it's hard to see that in the moment. When you're lying in bed wondering how it all went wrong. When you're watching other people chase dreams you had to let go of. When you're staring at a future you never asked for, but slowly, softly, you begin to see beauty in places you never noticed before. A kind smile from a stranger. A conversation that touches your heart. A sunrise that doesn't care how broken you feel, it rises anyway. So do you. You rise. Not because everything is okay, but because even in the ruins of your plans, you realize that your worth was never tied to how perfectly life unfolded. Your worth was never in the plan. It was always in you, your courage, your ability to adapt, your strength in silence. So when life changes your path without permission, don't panic. Don't fight it so hard that you miss the miracle hiding in the mess. Sometimes the most beautiful chapters of your life will be the ones you never meant to write. Sometimes the most powerful version of you is born in the unplanned, uninvited, and uncomfortable moments. It's okay to let go of the life you thought you were supposed to have. Because what's waiting for you might be far greater than anything you could have planned. You are not lost. You are simply being rerouted. And maybe, just maybe, this version of your journey, the imperfect one, is exactly the story someone else needs to hear. Instead of asking, why me? When life breaks your heart, shatters your plans, or pushes you to your limits, try asking, why not me? It's a small shift in words, but it can open a doorway to strength you never knew existed. Pain visits everyone. No one escapes it. It doesn't matter how rich, kind, talented, careful you are. Suffering, loss, failure, disappointment, they come to each of us in different ways, wrapped in different names. The question is not if life will hurt, but when. And more importantly, what will you do with it when it does? Most people, when life brings them to their knees, respond the way we've been conditioned. We resist, we cry, we ask, why me? As if pain is something that was supposed to miss us. As if difficulty is for others and not for us. As if we are somehow immune to the nature of life. But what if instead of running from that pain or drowning in it, we stood up, lifted our eyes, and said, why not me? Not as an acceptance of defeat, but as a declaration of strength. Because the truth is, not everyone has the heart to endure what you've endured. Not everyone can carry what you carry and still smile. Not everyone can break and still choose to be kind. Not everyone turns their wounds into wisdom. But you can. Maybe I have something inside me that even I didn't know was there. You stop waiting for someone to come save you. You stop expecting life to go easy on you. You start walking with pain, not against it. You start using it, learning from it, growing through it. Why not me? Doesn't mean you enjoy the suffering. It means you've stopped resisting your reality. It means you're ready to transform it. Some people let pain define them, but others, they let it refine them. And maybe you were chosen not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to rise. Maybe you're not the victim of your story. Maybe you're the hero. And maybe heroes aren't the ones who win all the time. Maybe they're the ones who simply refuse to give up. There are people in the world going through things you've already survived. They are walking through fire, searching for someone, anyone who can say, I've been there too, and I made it through. And that person might be you. Maybe your story, your survival, your why not me moment is the very thing that will help someone else keep going. Sometimes, purpose is hidden in pain, and meaning doesn't show up until we choose to make something out of the mess. No one asks for heartbreak, illness, failure, loss, or disappointment, but life doesn't wait for permission. What it gives you instead is a choice. The choice to let it break you or to let it build you. The choice to shut down or to open up. The choice to ask, why me? In anger, or why not me? In strength. You have survived things you once thought would end you. And yet here you are, breathing, living, still moving forward. That is not weakness, that is proof of unimaginable strength. You didn't come this far just to stop now. You didn't walk through all that pain for nothing. Let it shape you. Let it teach you. Let it reveal to you who you really are. So the next time life knocks on your door with a storm you didn't ask for, stand tall. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to show up. With trembling hands, with a tired heart, with a soul that's still healing, just show up. And when life asks, who will carry this? You'll look up and say, why not me? Growth never comes without struggle. It's one of those truths we wish weren't true. We want progress to feel like peace, healing to feel like light, and success to come without resistance. But that's not how life works. Real growth, the kind that transforms you at your core, often begins where comfort ends. It begins in pain, in confusion, in the moments where you're not sure how to keep going, but somehow still do. Growth feels like breaking. It feels like losing pieces of yourself that you thought were permanent. It feels like watching the version of you that once felt safe slowly slip away and not knowing what will take its place. But maybe that's the point. Maybe we're not meant to stay the same. Maybe we're meant to be rewritten over and over again by experiences that challenge us the most. There are moments in life where you'll feel stuck completely still, like nothing is moving forward. You'll think you're failing. You'll think you're falling behind. But what you're really doing is becoming. You are transforming in ways you cannot yet see. Healing doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it looks like staying in bed all day. Sometimes it looks like crying in silence. Sometimes it's just breathing through another hour. It's slow, it's unseen, but it's happening. Let it shape you. Let it teach you. Let it reveal to you who you really are. So the next time life knocks on your door with a storm you didn't ask for, stand tall. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to show up. With trembling hands, with a tired heart, with a soul that's still healing, just show up. And when life asks, who will carry this? You'll look up and say, why not me? Growth never comes without struggle. It's one of those truths we wish weren't true. We want progress to feel like peace, healing to feel like light, and success to come without resistance. But that's not how life works. Real growth, the kind that transforms you at your core, often begins where comfort ends. It begins in pain, in confusion, in the moments where you're not sure how to keep going, but somehow still do. Growth feels like breaking. It feels like losing pieces of yourself that you thought were permanent. It feels like watching the version of you that once felt safe slowly slip away and not knowing what will take its place. But maybe that's the point. Maybe we're not meant to stay the same. Maybe we're meant to be rewritten over and over again by experiences that challenge us the most. There are moments in life where you'll feel stuck completely still, like nothing is moving forward. You'll think you're failing. You'll think you're falling behind. But what you're really doing is becoming. You are transforming in ways you cannot yet see. Healing doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it looks like staying in bed all day. Sometimes it looks like crying in silence. Sometimes it's just breathing through another hour. It's slow, it's unseen, but it's happening. There is no shortcut to becoming the person you were meant to be. There is only the path, unpredictable, imperfect, and often painful. But it's worth it. Because every challenge you face adds something to you. Strength, patience, resilience, compassion. And none of these things come easy. They are earned in the fire of life's hardest days. You may not feel it right now, but every single time you choose not to give up, you are growing. Every time you choose to believe in something better, even when you can't see it, you are evolving. It might not look like progress on the outside, but internally, something powerful is happening. You are becoming more of who you truly are. And no, growth isn't always about becoming someone new. Sometimes it's about coming home to yourself, peeling away the expectations, the fears, the doubt, remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. And often, it's the pain that guides you back. The discomfort forces you to listen to your own voice, to rediscover your strength, to trust yourself again. So if you're going through something right now, something that feels too heavy, too messy, too unfair, know this: it is not for nothing. This moment is shaping you. You are growing in ways you don't even realize yet. Don't rush it, don't judge it. Just trust that this struggle has a purpose, even if you can't see it right now. And one day, when the dust settles and you look back, you won't see a failure, you'll see a turning point. You'll see that in the middle of the pain, you found your power. And you'll be able to say, with quiet confidence, that was the moment I began to grow. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to wear a mask of strength when your heart feels tired. Somewhere along the way, we've been taught that to be worthy, we have to be flawless. That to be respected, we must be strong all the time. That to be admired, we must have it all figured out. But that is a lie we need to unlearn. You are enough, exactly as you are. Not the polished version. Not the version that always smiles. Not the one who hides their pain behind a carefully rehearsed "I'm fine." The real you with doubts, insecurities, scars, and softness, that is the version that deserves to be seen and loved. You don't need to prove your worth through perfection. Your existence, your breath, your presence, they are already proof that you matter. We live in a world that worships performance. A world where we filter our lives, hide our flaws, and compete in silence. But real connection doesn't come from perfection. It comes from honesty, from standing in your truth and saying, this is me. I'm doing my best. And some days that best doesn't look like much, but it's still mine. Strength is not about pretending everything is okay. It's about allowing yourself to be real. It's about giving yourself permission to rest, to cry, to say, I'm not okay without guilt. True strength is soft. It's vulnerable. It's honest. It doesn't push pain away, it holds it gently, like something sacred, because it knows pain is part of the journey. You don't have to earn love by being strong all the time. You don't have to earn love by being strong all the time. The people who truly love you will stay when you're falling apart, not just when you're shining. They'll sit with you in the dark, not ask you to pretend it's light. But for them to see you, the real you, you have to allow yourself to be seen. And that starts by believing you're enough without the armor. We chase this idea of perfection as if it will protect us. If I look a certain way, speak a certain way, achieve a certain goal, maybe then I'll be accepted. Maybe then I'll feel like I'm worth something. But the more we chase that illusion, the more we lose ourselves. Because perfection isn't real. It's a mask we wear to feel safe, but masks always isolate. They hide not just our flaws, but also our beauty, our uniqueness, our humanity. Your softness is not your weakness, it is your strength. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is your gift. Don't let a hard world convince you to harden yourself just to survive. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to feel, to learn, to grow, to heal. And healing is not linear. Some days will feel like progress, others like setbacks. But in it all, you are enough. Not because you have achieved something extraordinary, but because you continue to show up even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. So be gentle with yourself. Speak to yourself like you would to someone you love. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are a story still unfolding, beautiful, complex, and unfinished. And even in your most unpolished moments, you are enough. Just as you are. Your story has power. Not just the pretty parts, not just the moments when everything made sense or looked good from the outside, but the raw, unfiltered, messy chapters too. The nights you cried alone. The days you barely got out of bed. The silent battles you fought in your mind. the choices you made when no one was watching. All of that, every detail carries a kind of truth that can touch someone else's life in ways you may need to fully understand. We often underestimate the value of our own story because we're too close to it. We see our wounds and think they make us weak. We see our failures and assume they disqualify us from inspiring others. But it's the exact opposite. The things you've survived, the things you've grown through, the things you thought would break you but didn't, those are your power. Those are the reasons someone else will find hope through you. We live in a world obsessed with perfection. Everyone wants to show the final product, the healed version, the highlight reel. But what people really need is realness, authenticity, honesty. What people are craving is a connection that says, I've been through something too. You're not alone. And that's where your story becomes a light. Not when it's flawless, but when it's flawless. Maybe you don't think your story is extraordinary. Maybe you think no one wants to hear about your pain or your process. But here's the thing, someone somewhere is living through what you've already survived. They're in the middle of a storm you already made it through. And they're quietly hoping that someone out there understands, that someone knows what it feels like to be where they are. Your story could be the hand that reaches back and pulls them forward. Your words could be the reason they don't give up. Sharing your truth isn't always easy. It can feel vulnerable, uncomfortable, even scary. But it's also freeing. Because when you speak your truth, you release the shame that's tried to silence you. You reclaim your power from the moments that tried to break you. You give yourself permission to be seen not just for who you are now, but for everything you've overcome to get here. Your story doesn't have to be loud. You don't have to stand on a stage or write a book. Sometimes your story is shared in a quiet conversation with a friend. Sometimes it's in the way you show kindness to someone who looks like they're struggling. Sometimes it's in your ability to sit with someone in their pain and say, I've been there too. Sometimes it's just your presence, your resilience, your energy that speaks volumes without a single word. Never forget that you are a living testimony. A reminder that healing is possible, that survival is powerful, that even the deepest wounds can become sources of strength. The cracks in your story don't make it less beautiful, they make it more relatable, more human, more real. And in a world full of filters and facades, what people need most is real. So don't hide your story. Don't wait until it's perfect. Don't think it has to look a certain way to matter. It matters now. It matters in its rawness, in its honesty, in its becoming. Speak your truth not for attention, but for connection. Not to impress, but to impact. Your story is a bridge that can lead others out of isolation and into belonging. There will always be someone who needs your voice, someone who will hear your story and feel seen, someone who will realize for the first time in a long time that they're not the only one. And that moment, that quiet moment of shared humanity is where healing begins. Not just for them, but for you too. So honor your journey, even the parts you'd rather forget. Because those chapters are not just about pain, they're about power. They're not just about survival, they're about transformation. And you, just by being here, just by living your truth, are already helping to light the way for others. Your story has power. Don't be afraid to use it. You are allowed to start again. No matter how many times you've fallen, no matter how far off track you feel, no matter how messy the past has been or how uncertain the future looks, you are allowed to take a deep breath, gather your pieces, and begin again, not because you have failed, but because you are human. And humans are not meant to stay in one place forever. We are made to evolve, to change, to grow, and yes, to begin again when we need to. There's something incredibly beautiful about the idea of starting over. Not because it erases everything behind you, but because it gives you the power to carry forward only what still serves you. You don't have to bring every regret, every wound, every failure into your new beginning. You can choose to release the weight that's held you back. You can choose to write a new chapter not because the story is broken, but because the story is still going. Sometimes life doesn't go the way we planned. Sometimes the job falls through. The relationship ends. The health changes. The dream fades. And we're left standing in a version of life we never saw coming. It's easy in those moments to feel like it's too late, like we've missed our chance, like we're too far gone to ever find our way back. But the truth is, you're never too far gone. As long as you are breathing, the story isn't over. We don't give ourselves enough credit for how many times we've already started again. Think about it, you've gotten through moments you never thought you would. You've faced endings and still found ways to begin. You've been hurt and still found reasons to hope. That kind of resilience is not small. It's everything. And it's proof that you are capable of doing it again. Starting over doesn't always look like something big. Sometimes it's just choosing to get out of bed when your heart is heavy. Sometimes it's deciding to forgive yourself. Sometimes it's picking up a dream you put down a long time ago. Sometimes it's saying, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm willing to try again. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest. You don't need permission from anyone to begin again. You don't need a perfect plan or the approval of others. You don't need permission from anyone to begin again. You don't need a perfect plan or the approval of others. You don't even need to know exactly how it will all work out. All you need is the courage to take one small step. And then another. And then another. The path will appear as you walk it. The answers will come as you ask the questions. The strength will grow as you move forward. So often we wait for the right time. We wait until we feel more confident, more certain, more ready. But here's the truth, ready is a lie we tell ourselves when we're scared to take the first step. You don't have to be ready, you just have to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to fall and get back up. Willing to believe that even after everything, something beautiful can still come next. Your past does not define you. Your failures do not define you. The opinions of others do not define you. You define you. And that means you get to decide when it's time for a new beginning. That means you get to choose what stays and what goes. You get to decide what kind of life you want to create from here. Starting again is not weakness. It's not failure. It's courage. It's hope. It's strength. It's saying, I believe in something better, even if I can't see it yet. It's believing that you are worth the effort, that your future is worth fighting for, that your dreams, no matter how long they've been buried, still deserve to live. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are in the middle of becoming. And becoming is a messy, powerful, beautiful thing. Give yourself permission to start again, not just once, but as many times as you need to. Life will meet you where you are not where you think you should be. Trust that. Trust yourself. And when the world feels heavy and the way forward feels unclear, just remember this: you are allowed to begin again and again and again.